So I'm happy to be joined by Jason Kearns, the brand new account manager for Etihad here in Ireland. Jason, you're very welcome. Thank you for taking the time.
Thanks for having me.
How does it feel to be back working with an airline?
Oh look, I'm delighted. I'm delighted to be back working in the trade. It was a short stint out. It was only 5 months, I think, so I'm so glad to be back. And obviously airlines, it's such a dynamic and exciting industry to be involved in, like new destinations popping up every now and again, and technological innovations happening, especially on the side of sustainability. And Etihad have such a great name for sustainability in their green liner. So
previously you were with Qatar, which how you would have been well known to the trade in Ireland. You were sales exec with the commercial team. Here you're going to focus on the travel trade and business travel. So for you, what are the main differences, areas of focus?
Yeah, so I suppose I had a great time in QR, 2.5 years there. I learned so much from the team. They really helped me transition from car hire to airlines.
Yes.
So I have to thank them for that. In terms of differences, there's not many main differences. There's a lot of similarities actually between the two carriers. So focusing on the eastbound routes, a lot of the routes are very similar from Dublin. The hub is obviously in the Gulf. I suppose out of Dublin we both fly 787 Dreamliner. Yeah, so the similarities are quite few. But in terms of the differences, I suppose, working with QR, they would have been the newcomers in the market for the Dublin route, of course. Whereas Etihad, we've been flying the Dublin to Abu Dhabi route for 14 years now. So
it's 14. I was trying to think as how long, because I remember the debut of Etihad as, well, I was going to say as clear as it was yesterday, clearly not, but 14 years.
14 years, yeah. So we obviously established a great brand and a great relationship with the trade and the market in Ireland. So it's.
And here you're working alongside Jeremy Pollock, so I know it's only been less than 3 weeks, so you've barely got your feet under the desk, but I presume a prosperous partnership looking forward.
Yeah, it's great. Look, I've had many conversations with Jeremy. His support is brilliant. I'm sure that we can thrive in Ireland with the support coming from his team in London. As you said, it's been a very short period of working, but hopefully it'll be a long and prosperous one going forward.
You have a good relationship with the media. I mean, anybody I spoke to that said, "Oh, I'm interviewing Jason Kearns," they're like, "Oh, it's so brilliant to see him back working in travel." I presume this is going to be useful going forward.
Yeah, of course. Look, the media in Ireland, they're super helpful. They're very approachable, and they do a great job of covering everything from agents, suppliers, and the market in general. Look, we've worked closely with them in the past. I'm sure we work closely with the media going forward. I'm also very excited to see how the development of ITTN goes along, and the first awards coming up on the 3rd of December. So.
Indeed. Second, I think, isn't it?
Second, sorry.
Oh my God, now you have me second. But anyway, yes, absolutely. Thank you very much. We are very excited about these awards as well. Now, look, I mean, it goes without saying, it's almost like stating the obvious. It's been an incredibly challenging 18 months for everybody, not least the airlines. So how far does Etihad have to go to reach those levels that it had obtained in 2019 before all of this happened?
I suppose it's not so much a guessing game at the moment, but it really depends on how the market develops. I don't have a crystal ball or anything, but I can say that we did carry over 1 million passengers in the first half of 2021, so that was on average at 10% month-on-month growth since we started back in June 2020. So we are beginning to increase our frequencies and routes, obviously, so hopefully sooner rather than later we can reach back the levels we were at in 2019. Of course, it all depends on the restrictions easing and countries opening up and routes being more accessible to passengers. So, but hopefully we can be there on the forefront to help carry passengers there.
And hopefully you could, well, it'd be nice to get the crystal ball that looks into the heart and minds of the Australian Prime Minister.
For sure.
Yeah, so I mean, we understand that 2021 for leisure travel is probably a no-go, but certainly early 2022 is looking pretty optimistic for leisure travel back into Australia. So that's got to be good for Etihad.
Yeah, it's super positive.
I just saw this in the last day or so that Etihad are going to start using the IATA travel pass across its network. So how is that going to affect the passenger experience, and what does that mean?
I suppose it's all about improving the customer journey and obviously fast tracking their journey through the airports. At the moment, it's only applicable on certain routes for Etihad, Dublin being one of them, of course, so it is a bonus to any passengers flying out of Dublin. But on top of that, we've actually implemented our own initiative called Verify to Fly, which is applicable on the majority of our network, excluding a certain number of different countries. But Verify to Fly is basically very similar to the IATA Travel Pass, except you log in through the website and you upload your documents, which are then verified prior to you arriving at the airport. So all your documents are actually approved, and you can fast track through your check-in, baggage drop-off, and through the whole journey in the airport faster than usual. So.
And can I just state from personal experience recently, having used one of these apps to travel, is how important it is to use, whether it's the Verify to Fly or the IATA Travel Pass, or indeed there are a number of other apps, but because it's a confusing time, there's so much documentation required depending on the destination, and each destination has its own specific requirements. So by having all of that documentation uploaded in the app, it takes away any concern that when you arrive at the airport, bags ready to check in and to fly, that all of a sudden the desk agent doesn't say, "Oh, I'm sorry, sir or madam, you don't have the appropriate documentation, so I can't let you get on."
Yeah, I've heard that feedback from a few people. Also, it's a huge help. As I said, it's the customer experience at the end of the day. It's to remove that anxiety of travelling again. Once leisure travel, corporate travel, all types of travel open up, that passengers are not anxious about travelling. That they, like you said, they have all their documents in place, verified prior to arriving to the airport, and it's a fast track method of getting through the airport. So it's a huge positive in terms of the return to travel.
Etihad achieved an incredible thing, I think. It has a deep imprint in Ireland, in part due to its timely sponsorship of the hurling championship for 10 years. I certainly attended many a hurling final, and as a Wexford man, probably it galls you that Kilkenny dominated for so long, but I think I saw Kilkenny win, 8 All-Irelands. And that, of course, that cemented Etihad's relationship in the popular mind in Ireland. So all of a sudden, this brand with a foreign name became a familiar name in this country. Does Etihad, moving forward, I don't mean immediately, but moving forward, does it have any plans to do something that big again?
Well, I suppose, like you said, the use of these, I suppose, corporate sponsorships are hugely important to developing your brand in a market.
Sure.
Like you said, with the sponsorship of the GAA was huge. At the moment, everybody has probably seen the other probably huge sponsorships with the Formula One Grand Prix in Abu Dhabi coming up, but also then the city sporting groups, so in Manchester, Melbourne and New York, of course. Going forward, probably we're going to focus on the return to travel at the moment and leverage our existing partnerships. But yeah, I can't say yes or no, but at the moment we're going to leverage our own.
But the message is still, as you said, with the sponsorship of the city groups, is sporting excellence, Formula One. So sporting excellence is still very much part of how Etihad. It's an association that Etihad very much cherishes.
Yeah, of course,
okay.
Of course.
Jason, I absolutely look forward to speaking with you regularly over the coming months, and I wish you and Etihad every success.
Thanks very much, Sean. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Jason.
Really appreciate it.